seconds of this first half.
That's the first carry for Roper of the ball game, and it's a turnover. Now here's Campbell, going to hand it to Neal. Neal straight up the middle, has a running lane down to the 10-yard line. He's a yard shy of the first down. There's 20 seconds and counting left here in the second quarter. McCory has one timeout.
Trying to kind of a delayed draw there to Neal. A lot of time running off here. They're going to be under 10 seconds by the time they snap it.
Down to 7 seconds. Campbell going to look to run. Campbell still on his feet at the 5. He dives. Is he in? He's in for the touchdown.
The last play of the first half. Thought McCory might have shot themselves in the foot by not taking a timeout. But a quarterback did it all with his legs and reaches for the goal line. They call for a score, and we'll have to look for the replay to see if he indeed did cross the goal line.
Yeah, there may be a replay if his knee got down because he had to stretch out for the goal line on this one. If you're McCory, I think you want to get up there and get this thing off. And it does look like there's going to be a replay.
That's a good look at it here. That right knee might have been down before he extended the right arm. That's a pretty good look at it there.
Well, I tell you, that's a great athletic effort by Campbell to stretch out like that. It's going to be incredibly close, Bobby.
It really is. I mean, that right knee, as he was extending his right arm, might have come down, and the ball was about the 1-yard line. Let's see if we can take another look at it. You know, it's important to remember the ruling on the field was a touchdown, so there's got to be evidence to overturn it. Watch his right knee. Right there.
Yeah, I think he's short.
I think he's reaching out for the goal line, and just remember, the ball doesn't have to cross the goal line. It has to just to touch the white paint. Right here, it does look like his right knee comes down before that ball touches the plane.
That is a tough. I mean, initial look at it, Bobby, it looks like he may be short, but it's got to be without a doubt, right?
It does. And right there, I think, shows enough video evidence that he was down short of the goal line. There's going to be a different angle at it.
And don't forget, I mean, the images you're seeing on your TV at home, that's what the replay guys are looking at.
Knee comes down. You see where the football's at right there. And I think that replay, and you kind of line it up with the previous angle, you kind of add the pieces together. If I'm in that booth, I probably say he's down. But we'll have to wait and see what the officials in the booth about 4 doors down from us have to say about it.
The officials are still looking at it. I mean, they're taking a long look at it. And
so I don't believe we have a down the line shot right down the goal line, and that may be the difference, RJ.
Yeah.
You can't tell exactly, since the camera angle is at an angle. You can't see if the ball is across the plane or touching the plane of the goal line before that knee hits.
And here's the thing. This is a huge play.
It is. Well, no doubt.
This is there's no time left on the first half clock. And this could give McCory a ton of momentum going into the locker room.
To me, that spot right there where they've got it frozen, I think that tells me he's down short of the goal line.
But one thing you don't know, I mean,
is where the football
is in relation to the goal line. I mean,
we can see the real estate between his knee and the goal line. You know how tall he is. So now we're getting really into the weeds of it. You know, his arm's not 9 feet or 3 feet long, and I don't think he got there. Great effort. I just think he came up about a half a foot short.
Okay, our official today, William Fry, has taken the headset off, and he's talking with his umpire, and let's get the call.
Now another aspect we've touched on, is there any time left on the clock when his knee hit?
That they may have been looking at that as well.
And McCory does have a timeout.
Hey, number 9.
After review, the ruling is that the player was down on the 1-yard line with 1 second left.
Wow. So they get 1 second left. Now,
Set the clock to 1 second.
And so McCory will take their timeout to stop the clock. And so they get another shot at it. I think they got the call right.
So there's your timeout. Okay, so you've got 1 second. McCrory calls their timeout. They have no more. And you've got the ball at the 1 yard line. What are you calling, Bobby?
You've had a lot of success running the football right up the middle, whether it's with Neal or whether it's with Campbell, the quarterback, or even Kennan. So they've had some success running the football. As there's another angle at it. I don't think you need to get cute. I mean, there's no point trying to put the ball in the air. Just trust your offensive linemen, trust your running backs to pick up a yard, and try to go into the half up 2 scores.
Yeah, I mean, Reed Kennan and Latrell Neal have both been really impressive today for McCrory. But do you think, I mean, right, you know that Fordyce is going to stack the box right up the middle, being at the 1. Do you almost bounce it outside and try to get something on the edge?
Yeah, and this may be a check with me type situation, too. You line up, and you see what Fordyce is going to line up defensively. You see where they put the big bodies in the interior, and maybe you check the play and audible it to something different.
So McCrory's going to have 4 wide receivers in the formation. Campbell's going to be under center. Campbell's going to keep it himself, trying to get into the end zone. And he's in for the touchdown.
Second effort and the extra push from behind, able to get the Jaguars offense into the end zone, and a big momentum swing in the final second of this first half.
He didn't have it at first, Bobby.
He didn't. It was a great job defensively to stop the initial push, but that's why you see the running back lineup so close to the quarterback behind him. He's able to push him in. It used to be called aiding the runner. They've kind of gotten rid of that rule, and you can see Kennan, number 9, pushes his quarterback across the goal line and for the score.
3 plays, 19 yards. It took 28 seconds. Really took a little bit longer. Yeah, took about 10 minutes, but either way, McCrory's got the 1 yard touchdown. It's 18-7, and now McCrory's going to go for 2.
Already an 11-point lead. Try to push it up to 13. Fordyce try to get a stop before the half.
Going to hand it off to Kennan. Kennan going to dive for the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good.
Big cut.
And it's now 20-7 in favor of McCrory as we go to the locker room. Kyle Sutherland is going to head. He's going to be with the McCrory head coach here momentarily. And how about that, boy? All the momentum goes with McCrory into the locker room.
Those final 30 seconds was all McCrory. You think they're going to go dejected after they throw an interception in the end zone. They get the gift of a fumble. They take advantage thanks to a review, and now they've got a 13-point advantage.
Let's head down to Kyle Sutherland on the sidelines.
Chris, a huge score there at the end of the half, but we've seen Fordyce this year. They've definitely been known to have some comebacks. What do you tell your guys to keep up this momentum?
Well, without a doubt, they're a second-half team. You know, we've watched all the film on them, and we know those guys are going to come out. They've been here as many times as they have for no reason. So, you know, we just tell our guys to keep doing what they're doing and don't change anything.
Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyle. As that was Chris Kennan as his McCrory Jaguars lead 20-7 as we head to halftime, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. With our busy lives today, we often forget the greatest gift of Christmas. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. I hope all of us will take the time and share the love of Christ this season. May your holidays be filled with joy and blessings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Everett.
We are at the half where McCory, they lead the Fordyce Redbugs by a score of 20-7. I'm RJ Hawk along with Bobby Swafford. And Bobby, huge momentum for McCory going into the locker room after they got that last touchdown.
The last 30 to 40 seconds of that first half had the motions going up and down on both sides. Fordyce thinks they come up with a big defensive stop. They get the interception in the end zone. But the very next play where they're just going to run the football once, run out the clock, go into the half down just 12-7. Instead, they turn the football over, give McCory a second chance. And what good teams do with second chances, they take advantage, and that was a huge swing of momentum.
Offensively for Fordyce, they were really just inconsistent there in the first half.
Yeah, they couldn't get the push going up front. A lot of the credit has to go to the play of the McCory defense. You take away the big pass play that was about 44 yards down the sideline. Fordyce hasn't been able to get anything going offensively. As Coach Kennan just said, though, Fordyce is the second half team. They've been in a lot of close games all season long. This game is far from over.
If you remember last week in that semifinal game for Fordyce, they won 7-6, and they trailed the entire game. Right. It was 6-0 the entire game. They came back and got the lone touchdown they needed.
Yeah, but with the playmakers they have at running back and even at quarterback, all it takes is one play. You know, as soon as they find a seam, one broken tackle in space, it could be a big play up the sideline. You know, this game is far from over, and these two teams are going to, at the half, they're probably both feeling not terrible about themselves, but obviously McCory loving where they're sitting.
We have an exciting halftime coming up for you throughout this 20 minutes or so that we have during the 2A state championship. Stick around. You don't want to miss any of the interviews. David Basil, Steve Sullivan, they're all up next as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the second weekend of state championship action here on Arkansas PBS. I'm your host, David Basil. Welcome to the halftime show, sponsored by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Tonight, we're going to introduce you to a very determined young play-by-play announcer who has risen above some unique challenges to practice her craft. And later, RJ Hawk sits down with student-athlete Joe Phillips, a major playmaker for the Bigelow Panthers. But first, my buddy Steve Sullivan is no stranger to talking Arkansas sports. Fans from all over the state tune in for Friday night touchdowns to get his take on the games. We're lucky to have him here to get his thoughts on the 2021 season. Buddy, thanks for being here. I know this is a busy time for you.
Yeah, great to be here. Love state championship time.
Oh, Sully, listen, you've covered college, pro, everything, but I think for you, high school sports is the most important.
Yeah, I look at it on Friday night, that touchdown may be the only touchdown that player scores, so I want to make it special. Question for you. What do Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis, Keith Jackson have in common? Three great Matt Jones.
They're all from Arkansas. They're Arkansas athletes. I do not know. What is it?
None of them played for state championship.
Ah, how about that?
Football is the ultimate team sport. Did you play for state title?
I did not. How about that? Well, you want to rub it in? Is that what you're doing there? But you know, one of the things you do, too, you've done it for many, many years. You come up with nicknames for players. Well, how did that happen?
Yeah, Mickey Dean, the touchdown machine.
Yeah.
The great Basile Shabazz was the first one.
Right. And players will come up and say, thank you for my nickname.
Well, some will. One guy... unfortunately, we called him a name he didn't like, and everyone started calling him that name. But
yes. Has the high school sports changed, in your opinion, over the decades you've covered ball?
They have. I mean, just think of the time put in, the facilities. It's gotten better and bigger. The great thing I love about the state championships, and I love about a state of Arkansas, it's so different. It's a clash of cultures sometimes, the championship games. Great example, when McClellan played Pulaski Academy, those schools are, say, 10 miles apart. They're so totally different. And those kids may never see each other in life again, but for that 2 hours in the football field, they'll gain a respect for each other. And I love seeing the cultures clash, the private schools battle the public schools, and it's just the memories that last forever. I got guys my age I went to school with. They still talk about their championships at McCory. Jerry John Sallings was the quarterback, and Big Bob Keem was on the line, and that was back 30, 40 years ago. And that's the great thing about Arkansas is the memories you'll get from this week.
Yeah, it's great, too, for those who don't know Sully, to see him on a Friday night, man. It's serious business.
Yeah, I'm competing.
Yes,
I put on a game jersey, and my greatest championship memory was Shabazz.
Yes.
Pine Bluff played Texarkana, but Texarkana came in. They had allowed 12 points all year. And I wore a jersey, and it had 19 because their big back was Terrell Dean from Texarkana. They both have the same colors, maroon, and 19 on the back, Shabazz. And someone asked me, why do you have Dean on the front and Shabazz on the back? Because I said, that's all you're going to see is the back of Shabazz's jersey. But you remember the names and the games, and Burks.
Yes. Oh, yeah, listen, all these guys,
maybe the greatest performance, second greatest to Shabazz in the championship game. And Traylon still remembers it was a losing effort against Arkadelphia. Yeah. When he had the big game this year for the Razorbacks at War Memorial, he was reminded, and a smile brought, a smile on his face because those brought up those memories he had with Warren.
Well, you've made it a special deal to cover high school sports. I want to thank you. You're a good buddy of mine, and you've made sports more interesting, and especially at the high school level. There's guys that you've given them nicknames, and they'll remember them forever. And so, well, thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate that. Steve's one of the best in the world at what he does. He really is. You know, it's a man's world. James Brown sang that back in 1966. And in the world of play-by-play announcing, that has traditionally been true. But women are making great inroads as announcers. We want to introduce you to a young lady at Cross County High School, honing her craft as a play-by-play announcer, all while overcoming a unique set of challenges. Meet Lexi Jarrett.
What's up, you guys, and welcome to CCHS Live. I'm Lexi Jarrett, welcoming you tonight's matchup. So I always knew that I wanted to go into the sports field. I just didn't know how, so I didn't want to play sports because I was not gifted with any athletic abilities. And that's whenever I realized that I could be a sports analyst. Trying to find a path, gonna send it.
But she can immediately flip this switch where she is just like camera ready.
They're gonna be moving the chains on that one. That's it. Good to Davey. Oh, loose ball. And that's gonna be a touchdown for your Cross County Thunderbirds. So it's 11. Okay. So that's 12 timeouts in the game. There's 11. Probably 6. We're going to use all our timeouts. I'm the first female sports commentator for the school, and I've just always been real fascinated with it. So I think it's a way to kind of tell a story and get to show personality through audio. Able to come back with that. We see Coach Hill, the team's personal hot man, hyping everybody up.
She's been doing it since I believe her 8th grade year, and being an anchor and being, analysis and going over stuff. And, each year she's gotten better.
She was a super confident kid. She likes being in action. She likes getting to talk to these coaches, and she is not scared to stick a microphone in someone's face.
All right, what's up, you guys? I'm here fieldside with AJ Bill, one of our seniors here on your Cross County Thunderbird football team.
Always researching, always asking questions, always watching her own live feed throughout the week and trying to find things that maybe she could do better. The live stream is giving her those opportunities just to grow. Right. Well, trips is going to be 3 receivers. Bunch is when all 3 of them are bunched up together.
Yeah, I know. 1, 2, 3. Bunch right, bunch left. I learned that one this week. Okay, Baltimore going to hand it off, trying to run up the center. They're going to be brought down, looks like around the 31-yard line. Whenever I first started, I wasn't the best commentator, and the way I would practice was turning on Chiefs games and just commentating it without the audio.
What's it called when the quarterback changes the play?
An audible.
Audible, good. There you go. And when she loves something, then she goes, head over heels, full throttle to do whatever it is she's into.
One-handed catch on the sideline, running down through the goal. Caught it. I mean,
freaking Spider-Man Day. The play of the season. Play of the year.
Play of the year?
Yes.
I'll quote you on that.
You know, she is a story that is unlike any that most people think of when you think of someone in a position. Like, she's overcame a lot in a really short amount of time.
Middle school, 5th grade, 4th grade, just the tics that she has started with just head jerking, head nodding.
The earliest memory I had was at that time I was at my grandma's house, and I remember making this like face. I really didn't think anything of it, but my grandma was always like, you need to stop faking that face or you're gonna create a habit of it. And that's whenever I started noticing it. I didn't, at the time, didn't know what Tourette's was. I was just like, maybe I just have something weird going on. The biggest challenge is actually like the motor portions of it. So I had vocal tics in the past. They're not as prominent now, but my biggest thing is my head shakes. It looks like I'm agreeing with people a lot. And so that just really gets in the way. My neck will get super tired, so I'll be exhausted by the end of the day. Then whenever I commentate, my headset will move. So my mic, you'll hear random things, and it's like my mic either touching like my face somehow or it's dropping up and down because my head's moving.
Definitely been times where things have been said, and sometimes the students knew what they were saying. Sometimes they just didn't know that she had Tourette's.
Even though they're not made to be hurtful, those can sometimes really bother me and get me insecure about it. And I think that's honestly probably the biggest part of it, is just having to deal with the little comments that are made that aren't meant to be hurtful. They just kind of end up that way.
AJ looking here, trying to find a pass, gonna send it.
Being a woman in the sports field, it's something that I'm super passionate about. Wanting to make a change and leave my mark on that field is what drives me.
What Lexi has to struggle with day to day is what makes her so great at what she does. When that mic comes on, like, she kind of puts all that stuff on the back burner and she just runs with it.
Make my family proud and make those that have seen me like go through what happened in the past to what I am now. I think that's also very motivating.
She found her passion, she's found what she wants to do, and she's going after it full force.
Signing off from CCHS Live, I'm Lexi Jarrett.
Go, Lexi, go. Who knows? She may be helping us out with these broadcasts soon. And just like Lexi over the airwaves, offensive and defensive lineman Joe Phillips of the Bigelow Panthers has been making himself heard all season. He and RJ Hawk took time to chat about the season and his future plans.
All right, Joe, you know, Bigelow, Arkansas, small town, USA. You know, you're a really interesting cat because your dad's the local preacher. You've been doing football and hanging out with your buddies since 7th grade. This has really been a family for you, right?
Yes, sir, it has been. And we're like family. If you don't know them, you're going to know us.
You know, what's interesting about you and this football team is that just a few years ago, you did not win a football game. And now, I mean, at this point, you're undefeated, one of the top seeds in the state of Arkansas. What's that journey been like?
I don't know. Last year, everybody called us the Cinderella story. And, you know, when we played Des Arc, we knew going in there it was going to be a really hard game. And this year, I think we've kind of proved that, you know, Bigelow's here to stay.
Let's talk something away from football for a minute. I mentioned a minute ago your dad. He's a minister here in town. What's that like? I mean, not only are you a senior, everybody looks up to the seniors, but, I mean, you can't get in trouble in Bigelow or your dad's going to find out.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a problem every once in a while. You know, I do something in school or I say something I probably shouldn't be saying. He's going to find out about it.
You think about your entire playing time at Bigelow. There's one rivalry that always sticks out. It's Perryville. Yes, and they've had your numbers for the last few years until this year.
Perryville don't seem to like us in football, and we don't seem to like them in football. And it's just, you know, out of sports, Bigelow and Perryville, I mean, it's like we're in the same town. Everybody mourns together, everybody laughs together. But when it comes to high school football and high school sports, the calls come out.
What was that atmosphere like? I mean, I would imagine last person out of town turn off the lights.
Everybody was there. It was like playing at War Memorial when everybody's there. You know, it's a great atmosphere. Everybody's just laughing. Everybody's having a good time, you know. One
thing that you talked about with me prior to this interview was that life after school, after high school, you want to go into nursing.
You know, I've always wanted to help people. My mom and my dad, they both raised me, you know, be a respectful young man, always help people that are in need. And I really looked at my options and looked what I was good at, and I think nursing is where I can go to help people the most.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time, buddy. And
thank you.
Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All the best to Joe. That's it for halftime. Remember that you can revisit his story as well as all the other great halftime coverage from Arkansas PBS by going to myarpbs.org/sign-up. I'm David Basil. Let's get you back to the action at War Memorial for the conclusion of the 2A championship game on your home for the high school state finals, Arkansas PBS.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
It's 20-7 here at War Memorial as that sunset starts to go behind the press box here at War Memorial Stadium. We've got a whole half of the 2A state championship left, Bobby, and if the first half was anything like what the second half is going to be like, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think this opening drive of this third quarter is going to be really big. Fordyce is going to get the football to start. All the momentum in the final minute went the other direction. It went to McCory side, so Fordyce has the 20 minutes to kind of rally the troops, to gather their thoughts, and also put that first half behind them. We'll see what they try to do, try to put together offensively. They struggled to score last week. They only scored 7 points in the victory over Clarendon. They're going to need at least 13 more here in the second half. They want to extend this game, and so I think you're going to try to find a way to get to Jairick Walker. He didn't get enough touches, in my opinion, in that first half.
Hey, let's go ahead and take a look at some first half highlights that we had there in the first half, because you know what, really in a 20-7 game, there was you were wondering, is this thing ever going to get going? And it really did in the second quarter as both teams made their way onto the playing surface, and really it was all Fordyce and it was really all McCrory the first quarter, and Fordyce just sputtered throughout there in the first quarter of play.
Yeah, well, the one thing that really jumped out to me, and you can kind of say this about both sides, it never really had a clear flow to it. 166 yards of offense for McCrory, 114 for Fordyce, but defense made plays, a lot of tackles for a loss. There's a couple challenges that slowed the game down. It just never seemed to have a really nice flow to it, as that first half took well over an hour and a half, if you include halftime. And so, maybe see if that threw Fordyce off. And the Red Bugs have made another wardrobe change. They're going back to the black jerseys.
The only time in state championship games that I've ever seen a team change uniforms at halftime was Pulaski Academy, because they've got about 14 different uniforms over at PA. But now Fordyce they started in the red uniforms. Now they're coming out in the black and white uniforms. So we'll see those here in the second half. But yeah, really. We've seen defensive play after defensive play here in the first half, and even though you've got a 20-7 score, I think you credit both these defenses for playing really well.
I mean, you're talking about limiting Fordyce to 114 yards, and the play defensively for McCrory, as we see what the quarterback's been able to do, Merritt, a couple times. He's had some open targets. He hasn't been able to hit them because of pressure. They've had to force him off the spot, and he hasn't been able to set his feet and make accurate throws. As Fordyce in that first half, just 4 of 9 passing. So a lot of credit goes to that defense. They're making plays in open field, and that's why they've got a 20-7 lead.
Hey, let's head down the sidelines as Kyle has Tim Rogers.
Coach, this is not unfamiliar territory for you guys. You've had some comebacks already this season. What'd you tell your guys at halftime?
I told them, made a lot of mistakes, and I told them I've been doing this 38 years, and that's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life right there towards the end of the half. And I told the kids I'll take responsibility for it. I'm not going to place it on anybody else. My coaches are hollering, take a knee. I don't know why I did that. I just went dumb, I guess. But hopefully the kids will come out, overcome coaching, and hopefully, we've been in this situation before. So the kids have overcome coaching before, and I'm hoping, and we'll get after the second half, and they'll probably overcome coaching again here in the second half.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Kyle, as that was Tim Rogers. He's honest.
Yeah, he's taking the blame. What he's referring to is the fumble right before the half. They run the trap play, which actually had a pretty big hole, had a chance to pick up some yardage, but they didn't have timeouts to stop the clock, and all they had to do was run one play, take one knee, and they could have gotten to the half. But instead, they turn it over, allow McCrory to get into the end zone on the final play of regulation in that second quarter, and that's why it's a 13-point margin. But you like a coach. He's going to take the blame when it's on him, and that time he says it's on him. He fell on the sword, and now his team, which he's a very good coach, mind you. He's been doing it a long time. He's won a lot of games. The reason they're a defending state champion. they're not out of this one by any means.
Hey, let's take a look at the first half stats for this 2A state championship game. As in the first half, passing, really, Fordyce had 58 yards passing. McCory had 65 on the ground. McCory had 101 yards rushing compared to the 56 for Fordyce. Total yardage is in favor of McCory with 166 to the 114 for Fordyce. But I think the turnovers, Bobby, is where you can really point the finger for Fordyce.
Yeah, those turnovers resulted in points, all 14 points to be exact. From McCory. But the one thing that's not on that stat sheet, and that's really not something that you think about, except for when it happens, is starting field position. McCory hasn't had to march a full 80 yards. Every time they've received a kickoff that's been right around the 40 to the 45-yard line, they got advantage of the turnover that they started inside the 30, and turnovers have a lot to do with that. They're taking advantage of good field position. Now Fordyce needs to try to flip that advantage going their way.
Well, both teams have made their way back onto the playing surface here at War Memorial Stadium. We've got about a minute 30 left until the second half starts. Some keys to the game for both teams.
For Fordyce, I think you got to get the ball to the guy we talked about at the start of the broadcast, and that's Jeremy Walker, number 6. Find a way to get him the ball in space, or just trust the run game. Give the ball to him, time and time again. Use that size of your offensive line to try to wear down that McCory defense. And going back the other direction, there's not a whole lot I would change if you're McCory, especially defensively. The alignment they have, they're able to establish the line of scrimmage, even though they're undersized against that Fordyce offensive front. They're doing a good job. And I think, another score, they might be able to put this game away.
Well, it ought to be a lot of fun. I would imagine one thing that really didn't work really well was Fordyce when they went back to that 3 yards in the cloud of dust. It just didn't really work for them there in the first half.
Yeah, that's because they're not winning at the line of scrimmage. Those big guys, even though they have the size advantage, they're not moving the point of impact. They're not moving that line of scrimmage. When good wing teams are successful, as soon as they snap the football, the line of scrimmage goes from here to here. Well, right now it's not moving. Yeah. And when it's a stalemate up front, that's a win for the defense.
Well, we are about set for second half action as it looks like Fordyce, they are going to receive the second half kick, and McCrory is about to kick off to start the second half. Look at the weather. It's dropped about 10 degrees since we started this ball game. It's 42 degrees in the second half. We do have clear skies, but a 7-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast. And so as the game goes on, the colder it's going to get. I know last night in that 4A game, those footballs started to get really hard as the colder it got. So we'll watch out for that throughout this game as well. McCrory is going to be set to kick away as we start the second half. And it is a short kick, almost an onside kick, that is going to be recovered down at the 47-yard line in McCrory territory. That was not, I don't think, how they wanted to start the second half.
No, that's a great start for Fordyce. We talked about the field position game, and now they get to start a drive on the plus side of the 50, and all it's going to take is one play here, another play there, a key block, and pop your running back free, and Fordyce could get right back in this game in a hurry.
So I just got a text that the switch of the uniforms is nothing new for Fordyce, that it's a good luck charm for them to switch and go into the second half with a different uniform.
I'm a fan of the all-black with the white helmets. That's a nice, clean look, and those numbers are easy to read.
So here we go for Fordyce, as with the football is Merritt, and he escapes one tackle, retreats, and has nothing going, as he'll be taken down all the way back at the 42-yard line. That is a huge loss for Fordyce.
Yeah, Landon Headley is the one who's going to get credited with the big tackle for loss, but those defensive linemen up front made the play. They held up Merritt at the point of attack, and then Headley finishes him off, and they drop him way behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 11.
So it'll bring up second down and 21 with the ball at the Fordyce 42-yard line. Merritt's going to look to throw. Has a man left side, that's Walker, and he dropped it.
Yeah, that's what you want to do right there. They get Walker on the shallow cross. You hit him in stride, and he had a chance to run after the catch and pick up a lot of that yardage back and then some, but he didn't secure the football. Now it's 3rd and a mile for the Red Bucks.
Trey Merritt in the first half, 4 of 10 passing for 58 yards.
That one doesn't go on him. He delivered a good ball, had good protection from up front. Receivers got to help him out.
Here's the third down play for Trey Merritt. Looking downfield, has a man. That time hooked up with Hammonds, And Hammonds fell out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It's going to be well short of the first down.
It's a great job, though. You know you're likely going to go for it on fourth down. They pick up about 11 of that, RJ, and get themselves into a fourth and manageable.
So it's fourth down. Today on fourth down, the Redbugs are 1 of 2. Three wide receivers to the top side of the formation. Merritt going to roll to his left, under pressure, dumps it off as they're going to call it an incomplete pass, and that's going to be a turnover on downs for Fordyce. And actually probably a good play, Bobby, because if he takes the sack back there, that gives McCory great field position.
And you may be asking, how is that not intentional grounding? But the blocker that was out there with the quarterback was actually his running back, an eligible receiver. So that's why it's not intentional grounding, but still a big loss. And going to be a turnover on downs.
Well, they're spotting the ball at the 45-yard line.
I don't think they realized that was fourth down. The officials haven't flipped sides of the field.
Yeah, I mean, because the ball was, yeah, they're gonna say it's an incomplete pass, so McCrory's gonna get the ball back at the 43-yard line in their own territory.
A great job defensively. Your defense kind of not backed all the way up against the wall, but you start the second half, and Fordyce has got the drive in your territory, and they don't give up much. Those McCrory, now their offense is back out on the field with all that momentum they are able to muster in the final 30 seconds of that first half.
Shadows have taken over the entire field here at Simmons Bank Field. And it's 1st and 10 for McCrory.
Got to switch the leather.
It's a very long, drawn-out delay in between flipping out the footballs. Here we go. 1st and 10. Here's Campbell handing it off to Neal. Has a running lane out to the 50-yard line. Great first run by Latrell Neal.
As we cue up the replay in this, I want you to watch the center before McCrory against the nose tackle for Fordyce. You're talking about a size advantage or disadvantage, and look, he turns him and creates the running lane right there. What a great job by 65 from McCrory. Clay Hollowell listed at 5'10", 205, and establishes that running line even though he's given up probably about 100 pounds.
Here's Neal once again. He bobbled the snap, and he's going to pick up 2 yards on the play to bring up 3rd down.
That shows you as an offensive lineman, it's not about size, it's about leverage. As long as you've got proper footwork and you keep your hands inside, you can move a much larger body as long as you've got the proper technique, and that was a great job by Hollowell on that first down play.
So it's 3rd down and 2 with the ball at the Fordyce 49-yard line. Campbell has 3 backs in the backfield. Going to hand it off to Kennan this time. Kennan stretches out past the 45, and he will get the first down as they'll spot it at the 45-yard line.
Got just enough of a push up front, and McCrory's offensive line is starting to move that line of scrimmage. It's ever so slightly. As long as they're going backwards, talk about the Fordyce defensive line, that's going to equal good opportunities for big play chances, I should say, for McCrory. This follows the lead blocker, Neal, and gets the 3 yards he needed.
1st and 10. Neal's in the backfield with Campbell. As Campbell's going to take it himself. Works it past the 45 and takes it down to the 42-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down.
So they go run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the middle, and then they go quarterback to the outside. But Fordyce recognized that and held that to just a pickup of 3.
Down to 9 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter as McCrory leading Fordyce 20-7 in the 2A state championship game. Now here's Kennan with the run, right side, stiff arm, out past the 35 and taken down to the 32-yard line. That was a huge stiff arm he laid to get to the first down.
That's a great job by Kennan. They tried the speed sweep. They get him the ball trying to get to the outside, and he uses that off arm, the left hand, and pushes away the defender and picks up extra yardage after. That's a great look at it. His hand on the face. You're not bringing me down. I'll pick up some extra yards after contact.
So it's 1st and 10, ball at the 32-yard line. 8:20 and counting here in the third. Campbell going to hand it off to Neal. Running lane in the middle. Big chunks of yards as he'll get 9 that time.
The interior blocking for McCory has been really impressive on this drive, RJ. The center and the guards are doing their job. They're creating just enough space for the running backs to sneak through and get to that next level. That time it was a trap play that pulled the guard, and 63 makes the seal-out block, Hayden Fields. That's simple physics. You get him going upfield, you get the guard to come over and kick him out, you run right behind him.
2nd down and 1. Neal's in the backfield. Campbell hands it to him. Has a running lane again, out past the 20 to the 19. He's got a fresh set of downs for McCrory.
That play looked a little congested in the backfield. They try counter Trey. They pull the right guard and right tackle. They got kind of held up in the congestion, but they didn't need much for the first down. They were able to pick it up.
You know, looking at the defensive line for Fordyce compared to the McCrory offensive line, they are a bigger defensive line, but right now, McCrory's getting a bigger push.
They're winning at the line of scrimmage, and it's all about will and want to up there. And you know, from what I've seen, the technique advantage that McCrory has, their pad level is lower, and that's what winning at the point of impact.
Here's Kennan taking the jet sweep for no gain as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at the 19.
Yeah, those front five are earning their keep. You know, they're going to earn a post-game meal, especially if they can finish this drive off. And you think if they can take a 3-score lead, you know, how much time have they been able to chew up off this clock on this drive already? They're content with 3, 4, 5, maybe pop a 8 or 10-yard run, and watching that clock continue to tick down even though we're here still in the third.
2nd down and 10 with the ball at the 19-yard line. Neal in the backfield. Going to hand it to him. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and dropped right there.
That's a great job the other way. We've been complimentary of the offensive line for McCrory. But that time, 24, Camilo Allen, and 30, Dakota Wimberly for Fordyce got off blocks and able to make the play right at the line of scrimmage. And now it's 3rd and long for the Jaguars.
6:02 and counting here in the third quarter. McCrory trying to add to their 20-7 lead. Campbell in the shotgun with Neal to his right. Campbell going to look to throw. Under pressure. Rolls out. Going to the end zone, and he one-hops his wide receiver that time as he was trying to hook up with Rushing.
Rushing has been the go-to receiver in 3rd down situations. I might have liked to see Campbell continue to try to pick that up with his legs. Once he rolled left, avoided that initial rusher. There's a lot of green space out in front, but he trusted the arm, just couldn't get it to Rushing as he was rolling to his left to try to throw it back across his body.
I'm pretty sure he could have gotten that first down if he would have kept running.
Now it's going to be 4th and 10, and tried an extra point, so no point in trying a field goal. They're going to go for it.
So it's 4th down and 10 as the ball's at the 19-yard line. Campbell going to look to throw. Goes right side with it. Has a man at the 15, still on his feet, all the way down to the 12-yard line as he was able to get with Kennan. And that's going to be a turnover on downs with 5:26 to play here in the third quarter. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships in Arkansas, PBS Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider, from aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees. Served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
Celebrate game day under the arches. You get access to tons of benefits through our rewards program, and it's available today on the McDonald's app. We're loving it.
So Fordyce gets the ball on the 12-yard line. And they'll get a false start to start the drive.
And left guard wanting to get a little head start.
Snap. False start. Offense. First down.
By the way, today's attendance, 2,964 for this 2A state championship game. We've had some pretty good attendances throughout the weekend. The last 2 weekends, actually. So it's now first down and 15 with the ball at the 7. They're going to hand it off near side and nowhere to go.
The pursuit, RJ, the McCory defense has been really impressive. He's able to dance around, avoid the first defender, but now number 2, 3, and 4 in white jerseys are showing up.
That was Beelan that time. And so then that brings it down to 2nd and 15.
Try to bounce it to the outside, but they seal the edge, try to force him back inside, then the cavalry comes.
2nd down and 15 with the ball at the 7-yard line. Toss sweep's going to go right side into the hands of Jairique Walker, and Walker has really nowhere to go. He got about 2 yards on the play.
They tried to get the defense to think it's run left as they use the wing back to go in motion across the formation. And they come toss sweep right from where he left. Got a nice lead block from his fullback. He got the seal, but just too many white jerseys out there, and he runs out of real estate and it's forced out of bounds.
It's officially a 1-yard gain, so now it's 3rd down and 14.
And McCory is selling out. When they line up in the wing T or the power I like they've done so many times, RJ, when you've got 5 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and another walked up on the outside, so 8 in the box.
Merritt looking to throw one-on-one coverage on the outside as it was one-on-one trying to hook up with Hammonds, and it's incomplete.
A lot of contact at the top of the route there, and Hammonds and the Fordyce crowd looking for a flag, but they don't get one.
Hammonds warranted a penalty flag because he was out in front of that pass, and then they had a lot of tie-up right towards the end of the route.
There's going to be a look at it, and they thought they had a little too much contact. They wanted interference. And they probably have a pretty decent argument at it.
Here's the punt. And it is a punt that went sky high. And it's taken down at the 2-yard line. That was about a 1-yard punt. And McCory's going to get great field position.
Yeah, based on, because the way the punts work, RJ, as you well know, it's based on where it snapped, it's a -yard punt.
Yes. I was just saying it was about
where he kicked it.
Where he kicked it was about a 1-yard punt.
Right. That went straight up. He just, caught it on too far up his foot. And bad's turned into worse.
He almost caught that and went into the end zone.
Yeah, he did. The bad turns into worse for Fordyce. It's starting just to pile up on the Redbugs, and they can't get anything to go their way.
Coming down with that from McCrory. It was Dalton Reynolds. So now McCrory's got great field position at the 2-yard line. As Kennan goes right side, he dives for the end zone, and they're going to say he's at the half-yard line.
So he didn't get there as Kennan was chopped down just shy of the goal line. But if you're McCory, it's not the end of the world. You get to burn another 30 to 35 seconds. Still inside the 1.
Down to 4 minutes to play here in the third. Second down and goal. Ball at the half-yard line. Campbell. We've got penalty flags down. He goes into the end zone.
There's movement in the backfield, and the running back.
Snap. False start. Number 9. He leans forward. 5 yards. Second down.
Tried to get a head start. They're just going to run the quarterback sneak, and he was going to push the QB into the end zone again like they did on that earlier in the first half. And he just moved too early and back him up 5.
So now they're going to have the ball at the 6-yard line. It'll still be second down. Clock's rolling at 3:40 left here in the third. A lot of confusion on the McCrory side as they've got guys coming on and off, and now they've got it all set. As Campbell is in the shotgun. Gonna hand it to Neal. Neal right side going for the end. He lost it. He lost it down at the 2-yard line.
Ball just slapped out of there. Neal couldn't. I thought he was going to be able to find the goal line, but lost the football. Big play there by the Fordyce defense.
It was Reese Rushing who came up with the fumble recovery for McCrory.
Heads up play by the receiver to recognize the loose ball and save disaster.
So now it's third down and 2 with the ball. It's actually third and goal, but the ball's at the 2. Kennan takes the jet sweep. He goes for the end zone. He's in for the touchdown.
Exact same play they ran on first down, RJ, and this time able to get across the goal line. And what a big sequence of events that was. The short punt gives the ball inside the 5. McCrory able to take advantage, and now they've got a 3-score lead.
It's 26-7 with 2:38 to play here in the third. It's been since 2015 since McCrory's won a state championship, and I think the entire town is here at War Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, they were one of the best teams in 2A all season long, and they're certainly looking like the best team in Class 2A today. They have thoroughly dominated up to this point.
So McCrory's going to go for 2. Kennan comes in motion. They'll hand it to him. He's going to go for the end zone, and he's in for the 2-point conversion.
It's a big statement drive. I say that's 5 yards more defensively. That was a big statement of what they've been able to do. Coming out of the half, you think Fordyce is going to try a few different things. But McCrory's defense is just not giving up anything.
It's now 28-7 with 2:38 to play in the third. And really, it's mistakes. Hey, look, McCrory's playing great. Don't get me wrong, but mistakes by Fordyce to allow for, McCrory got it at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. Mistakes. You can't give up field position. And field position has been slanted so much to McCrory all afternoon long, and go back to the start of the second half. Fordyce has got the ball in McCrory territory and quickly goes 4 and out. They couldn't take advantage of it. Got to take advantage of those opportunities when you get them, and Fordyce hasn't been able to do it. And that's why they're down by 21.
On to kick for McCrory. It is Amari Smith. It's a squibber that goes in and out of the hands of Walker, and Walker's going to get bottled up down at the 15-yard line.
It's just all going wrong for Fordyce. I'm going to send a big shout out to Ashley Media for helping us get the word out about these state football championships. Of course, we appreciate the support. I guess it's never too early, RJ. Start thinking about the hoops.
Oh, yeah, hoops are going to be coming up in March. Myself and Wes Moore and you, we will all be down in Hot Springs for the state championships Look, we always enjoy those games.
A lot of games in 3 days. 12 champions going to be crowned. If you like basketball, definitely go to Hot Springs that second weekend in March.
So it's 1st and 10 with the ball at the 15-yard line. Here's Merritt. Going to throw it out in the flats. Finds Sledge. Sledge gets it out to the 14-yard line. Or excuse me, they're going to officially mark it at the 15, so he got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think the initial read there for Merritt, where they're trying to sneak the tight end on the right side of the formation out. It's kind of a delay go route. But McCory had that one covered. He's going to be on the left side of your screen there. They sneak him out. He's not open, so he has to throw it out to a safety valve. But McCory's defense right there, as you mentioned, holds him to a no gain.
2nd down and 10. Merritt looking to throw, going deep downfield. It's intercepted at the 30-yard line. Working it back. It's going to be a pick six. McCory gets another touchdown. On the touchdown for McCory, it was Levi Tucker.
The freshman was in the right place at the right time, and the overthrow comes right to him, and it was clear he knew what to do with the football in his hands as he makes a house call, and this game has certainly gotten out of the way from Fordyce.
34-7 now. McCory opening things up here in the 3rd quarter.
Read perfectly. He's sitting down, expecting anything across the middle. McCory did a nice job of chucking the crossing routes and knocking them off their path, and the overthrow comes right to Tucker. He puts it in the end zone.
So Campbell's going to be in the shotgun. He'll have Neal to his right. Kennan comes on the jet sweep. They're going to hand it to him. Trying to get to the edge. Spin move. Still driving, and he can't quite get to the end zone. And so the 2-point conversion's no good, and McCrory, they lead it 34-7 with 2:11 to play here in the 3rd.
It's just amazing, RJ, and football's a momentum sport. But when Fordyce gets the interception in the end zone with about 35 seconds left in the 2nd quarter, they're down 12-7. You think they're going to go into the half at that same margin. They fumble the football, and all of a sudden they've reeled off 22 straight points. Has McCrory to put a lot of distance between themselves and Fordyce.
Well, if you're Fordyce right now, you know, they went back to that wing tee set the entire 3rd quarter. They had more success in the first half when they spread it back out, and we haven't seen much of that here in the second half.
They're just kind of like trying to get anything going. You know, whether it's running the football, throwing the football, McCrory's defense has answered the call. I mean, you can change the offenses all you want, but that defense is staying the same, and that's the big reason for the struggles.
Kickoff is going to be taken by Walker at the 14-yard line. Walker is going to be taken down after he gets it out to the 27, and that'll be 1st and 10 for Fordyce with 2:04 to play in the 3rd.
Now for Fordyce, you know, you're probably limited in possessions. You've got to be able to score quickly and maybe start stealing some possessions the other way if you want to get yourself back into this contest. And if you're McCrory, you're just going to keep everything in front, try not to give up the big play, make them earn everything they have just like they have up to this point. And that clock is your best friend if you're wearing orange and black.
So here's a run by Fordyce. Is it Sledge who's going to get out to the 35-yard line?
He starts the drive there. The offensive line gets an initial push. Sledge gets 8.
2nd down and 2.
Want a copy of this title game or any of the state championship games? Just go to mmproductions.net and place your order.
Here is Merritt taking himself out past the 40-yard line, and he'll be taken down at the 44. He picks up a 1st down.
Getting the run on the stop. The result of the run, 1st down.
2 of their best runs of the day on back-to-back carries for Fordyce. They just line up in the spread and run it right at the McCrory defense. They move the chains.
So it's 1st and 10. Fordyce has spread it back out with 4 wide receivers in the formation. Merritt rolling left as he'll get it out into the hands of his wideout Taylor Poole. And Poole gets out of bounds.
The result of the play, first down, Rainbow.
It's just 3 plays, RJ, but this is the most impressive drive Fordyce has been able to put together since they got it in the end zone, way back in that second quarter.
So it's 1st and 10. Here's Merritt going right side, incomplete, trying to hook up with his wide receiver, Kristen Beelan.
McCory got tired of sitting back. That time they brought pressure from one of the linebackers, and I think the internal clock for Merritt sped up. He had more protection than he thought. He overshoots his target coming out of the backfield.
Down to 33 seconds here left in the third quarter. Fordyce has worked the ball into McCrory territory. And they weren't ready for the snap, and now we've got whistles and penalty flags.
Prior to the snap, ball start. Offense, second down.
That is the 7th penalty for Fordyce in this game for 39 yards.
Haven't been clean really in any phase. I mean, you can't knock the defense. I mean, they've been backed up against the wall for most of the game. I mean, 218 total yards from McCory is not a huge number to be given up.
Here's a swing pass that goes left side into the hands of Jacoby Walker, and he'll get it to the 49-yard line, which is no gain.
They're not able to make that initial man miss. I mean, McCrory's been able to make plays in open space, and you know that Fordyce has been able to turn those little 1- and 2-yard pass plays into the flat and to big gainers all season long, and that defense has just not given up anything.
I think that'll be the last play of the ball game as we're down to 1 second, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play. So McCrory, they have built a 34-7 lead in the 2A state championships. And you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships at Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank is committed to you. Since our founding in 1999, we've become one of the nation's most trusted banks by remembering that you come first, by empowering our communities to reach their highest potential through our dedication to local charities, education, and exceptional service, because we are proud to call Arkansas home. Banking with you in mind. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Okay, Frisbee, let's remember. It's 1 bark for true and no barks for false. Arkansas PBS is Arkansas's largest classroom. Bark! Frisbee didn't eat my slippers. Oh, Frisbee, how could you?
No, I'm sorry, Miss House. I was going to tell you, but it slipped my mind.
Please don't let it slip your mind and donate to Arkansas PBS today.
Bark!
I think that it's great that PBS does the broadcasting for the sports here in Arkansas, mainly just because some people just can't make it to the game. If you think about a grandmother or someone in your family that might just want to watch you on TV. If you love watching Arkansas Sports Championships on PBS, please make a gift today.
This month in Passport on the PBS video app.
Feels like a oneness, and it's refreshing.
Starring Cara Toynton and Julian Ovenden. Don't miss the sound of music.
And the American Pops for a star-studded holiday celebration of American jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS video app.
As we get set for the final quarter of football in Arkansas this year, Arkansas PBS is proud to bring you the high school football state finals live, and we're going to be back in the spring with the basketball, baseball, and softball finals also live right here on Arkansas PBS.
Been a lot of fun, Bobby, doing all these games with you and Wes and Kyle and everybody at Arkansas PBS Sports as we This is year number 4 that we've been doing these games. Here's Fordyce with the football as they're going to go deep with it on their first drive, and it was off the back shoulder that time, and trying to come up with it was Jairique Walker. And so now they've got a 4th down situation.
Just trying to push the ball down the field. It's 3rd and long, and a pretty good throw, and the receiver just could not make a play on it. The ball kind of hung up, allowed him to run underneath it. He had a couple steps and a little contact there at the top of the route, but Poole could not reel it in for the Redbugs. So now we got 4th and long.
So it's 4th down and 15 with the ball at the 49-yard line. Looking to throw, goes right side with it and knocked out of bounds that time. Hooking up with, is it Walker again? Yeah.
We'll swing pass to Walker, but he's dropped well short of the line to gain. Going to be a turnover on downs as Landon Headley and Lathan Briley both there converge, make the play, and get the offense back on the field for the Jaguars.
I imagine you're going to see a heavy dose here of Kennan as we are going to wind this clock down here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if
between him and Neal.
Yeah, you're exactly right, RG. I think you'd be shocked to see. I would be shocked if they put the ball in the air. With Neal, Kennan, even the quarterback run game with Campbell, they've been able to. They haven't churned up huge numbers of yards, 146 yards on the ground, but they've been effective, averaging almost 5 yards a carry.
So McCory has 2 backs in the backfield. Gonna hand it off to Kennan. Kennan out past the 50, out past the 45, picks up the 1st down, gets to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, you got to finish the game right. You got to finish it strong, and McCory's feeling it. And, the Fordyce defense is going to be down on themselves. They're down by 27. This game likely already away from them. They haven't played poorly on that side of the football. Again, just holding McCory to 230 yards of total offense to this point, but just the field position has been stacked against the Redbugs, and the Jaguars have punched it in when they've gotten the chance.
It's 1st and 10 with the ball at the 44-yard line. Kennan and Neal in the backfield. I hand it to Kennan again. Out past the 40, down to the 39-yard line. A pickup of 5 yards on the play.
2nd and 5.
Second down and 5. Clock rolls at 2:45.
You're going to use every bit of the play clock. Let it wind down. A 1st down's worth about 2.5 to 3 minutes of game time. And so they're content with just continuing to pick up 5-6 yards and moving the sticks.
There's the handoff to Kennan again. Kennan trying to pick his spot, picks up a yard. It's 3rd down.
Allen makes the stop.
The longest 10 minutes of a coach's life. You've got a state championship right in front of you. You just got to finish your drive and to finish the path to get there. And it feels like that's just like sand ticking through an hourglass. If you're McCory, just cannot go fast enough, and there's nothing you can do.
3rd down and 4, under 10 to play. Campbell going to keep it himself. And he'll be taken down at the 40-yard line. It's a 2-yard loss, and that brings up 4th down.
A great job by Allen to shoot in there and make a play in the backfield for Fordyce. He's not going to give up so easily. There haven't been many runs for a loss today for McCrory, but that time he drops for a loss of a couple.
So 4th down and 6.
Just the 2nd tackle for a loss for that Redbug defense.
Really in no hurry is McCrory. They've got 7 on the play clock. And Kennan takes it himself and dives forward for a gain of 2. And
I think there's a little confusion.
Well, I said it was Kennan. It was actually Campbell, but he didn't know which way anybody. There was nobody around whenever he went to give it off.
Yeah, he turned to hand the ball to the deep man in the pistol, and well, he went the other direction, so Campbell had to keep it himself. Well, wisely tries not to do too much with it, turns it over on downs, but didn't give up any big plays.
So now Fordyce will have the football with 8:55 to play here in the ball game.
I'm going to give a special thanks to Community Bakery for providing food for our crew and their continued support of Arkansas PBS.
Here's Sledge working it outside the 40, still on his feet. There's a penalty flag down back at the 40. As he was able to pick up about 9 yards on the play, but we'll see what the penalty flag is.
Personal foul, face mask, defense 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
So that'll help Fordyce as they'll spot the ball in McCory territory at the 37-yard line.
It's a big drive for Fordyce to try to get a little confidence, a little momentum heading into the offseason. Just finishing drives have been a problem. They've moved the football really between the 30s, just haven't been able to cap off drives with points.
Here's Walker on the end around, out past the 35, upended as he goes out of bounds and will be taken out at the 30-yard line. Took out the official as well.
A nice job by Walker to get to the outside. Nice play design to utilize his speed, but he was chopped down on that far sideline. Showed up with aggression. I believe that was the 14, Levi Tucker, who made the interception.
Second down and 3.
So it's second down and 3 with the ball at the 30. The only score for Fordyce in this game came in the second quarter. Merritt looking to throw, going big ball left side, and it overthrows it that time as he was trying to hook up with Taylor Poole.
They've tried a couple deep shots for Taylor Poole.
Looking to throw, going big ball left side, and it overthrows it that time as he was trying to hook up with Taylor Poole.
They've tried a couple deep shots for Taylor Poole, both times just out of his reach. About a step in front of the lanky receiver.
So that brings up third down and 3 with 8:30 on the clock.
Haven't been able to connect on those big plays. They've hit one deep pass play today. That one went for 36 yards way back in that second quarter. That was on their scoring drive.
Ball's on the turf. Merritt picks it up as he gets it back to the line of scrimmage. It's now fourth down.
Well, they prevent the turnover, does the Fordyce offense, but center back, quarterback at center, and quarterback exchange, just not effective. It blows the play up before it can get started.
Fourth down and 3.
So they need 3 yards to get the first down here on fourth down as we're under 8 to play. 3 wide receivers to the near side formation. And just overthrows his intended target. That was Jacoby Walker, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, they try the bubble screen there, and it just doesn't work. It leads his receiver too far up the field as he's running horizontally. He throws it too far up the field, and that's kind of been the storyline of the day, RJ. Just kind of out of sync for this Fordyce offense.
So it's first and 10 now for McCory. So far, total offense for both these teams. McCory, 235 yards of total offense. Fordyce, 169 yards of total offense. As Campbell's going to be in the shotgun. Going to hand it off to Neal. Neal is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage back at the 29-yard line.
Great job by Dakota Wimberly to stand his blocker up, able to shuck him away and make the play.
Second down, 11.
So it's now second down and 11. Here's a handoff to Neal. Got a running lane out past the 40, and he's taken down at the 47-yard line. Picks up the first down and more.
A strong bit of running from Neal, and his offensive line again clears the way for him. A couple Fordyce defenders ended up on the backside, and that's a good thing for the offensive line. Is you got a couple pancakes, and you see it right in the middle. Again, it starts with the center, works its way out the interior. Offensive line have played very, very well for that Jaguar unit.
Clock's rolling at 6:48. Campbell. I hand it off to Kennan. Kennan straight up the middle. Picks up a couple out to the 49-yard line. You know, outside of one turnover for McCrory, pretty much played a solid, complete game so far.
Yeah, the interception in the end zone is really about the only blemish. No penalties haven't been much of an issue. 5 for 50 yards. Well, they haven't hit a ton of big plays. They've hit those middle range plays. They've broken off a couple runs of 28 yards. Got the one pass play that set up their initial touchdown. That was kind of a busted coverage. But
here's Kennan running forward out to the 42-yard line. That's another first down.
A lot of those type plays are 8 to 10 yards. You know, they're not the flashiest plays. They're not going to put you on the highlight reel, but those are plays that extend drives and put you in the end zone, and also just demoralizing for a defense. They've got plenty of guys in the box to slow down the run. They just can't make the play. And McCrory gets the fresh set of downs and gets to churn a little more clock.
So far in the day, Reed Kennan 15 carries, 84 yards, 3 touchdowns. Latrell Neal 16 carries for 98 yards. Here's Campbell rolling left side, cutting it back up. We've got a penalty flag down. Campbell's out past the 30 to the 29-yard line, but I would imagine there's a hold on that left side.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
You want a copy of any of the state championship games? Just go to mmproductions.net to place your order. It feels like a long time ago. We had the 8-man game last Thursday.
Yeah.
Out in Pine, strong, 66-60 double overtime game.
Golly, it does seem like it was forever ago when we did that 8-man game.
Yeah, well, that was, I guess, now 6 3/4 of a game ago.
Yeah.
7 games in 2 weekends. By far my favorite 2 weekends of the year.
1st and 17 now as Neal's got it. Got a running lane out past the 45 to the 44-yard line. 6-yard gain that time. That's going to put Neal over 100 yards rushing for the day.
They've been balanced. 103 for Neal, 84 for Kennan. Campbell's got 11 carries for 22 yards just to keep you honest. And it's just a will. I mean, they know they're running it. We know they're running it. Fordyce knows they're running it, and it's
where they're going to run it too.
Haven't been able to slow them down.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of it, 75 to 80%, have been between the tackles, right up the middle.
And ball's on the turf, and it's picked up by Campbell, and he'll lose a few yards on the play back to the 49-yard line.
5 yards there. That's the first time we've really seen a busted play from McCrory. Again, just going to let that clock tick. 40 more seconds, and we'll reel off. I'll do it again after third down. I'll actually hit it up, man. Looks like excuse me, it looks like the snap hit Briley, the guard, trying to pull around.
It's 34-7 with 3:40 and counting left here in this Class 2A state championship game. McCrory hasn't won a state championship since 2015. They're going to break that snap today. Here's Neal, right side, as he'll be upended after he picks up a couple on the play. Bring up 4th down. You know, so much was said about how, you know, the relationship between Kason Campbell and Reed Kennan coming into this ball game, and I don't think there's been enough talk about Latrell Neal. Neal has been a heck of a running back. He's been a workhorse. He doesn't have the touchdowns that Kennan's had, but I mean, he's over 100 yards rushing, and he's been a workhorse for this Jaguar team.
Yeah, he's a load. He just wears on you. His 200-pound frame is just tough to tackle time and time again, and Fordyce has let him sneak through the cracks a couple times to get some big plays. We've got a quick kick, and Fordyce going to they're down a punt, excuse me, inside the 20.
As they'll take it down to the 8-yard line, and with 2:33 to play in the ball game, the Jaguars of McCrory, they hold a 34-7 lead over Fordyce. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
You can experience the action all over again if you missed any of the championship games. Just go to youtube.com/Arkansas PBS. The games will be up next week. We'll relive them over and over again and listen to the beautiful pipes of R.J. Hawk and Wes Moore.
Can't leave you out of it.
Yeah,
as
my pipes are average.
Here's Merritt with a big run out past the 20-yard line. He's going to be taken down at the 25. First down, probably the best run Merritt's had today.
Straight ahead. We'll get to watch the championships over and over next week, and we've had some good ones. Have been eventful 2 weekends. Started way back last Thursday with the 8-man game.
Yeah, started with the 8-man game. Strong won the game 66-60. And the first time that it's been a sanctioned event with the AAA that we got to do right here on Arkansas PBS. And the 5A game had Pulaski Academy win another state championship as they won 51-19. Class 6A was last Saturday, and El Dorado, they knocked off Greenwood to win 27-17 in that 6A state championship. And then the Class 7A game, which was last Saturday night, not the 6A game. Here's Merritt looking to throw, has a man, that's Walker, and it's overshot, and it goes out of bounds. And so that'll bring up second down. But in the 7A game, Bryant, they won their 4th straight state championship as they beat Fayetteville in a shootout, 42-38.
Might be the best weekend or best game of the 2 weekends.
Yeah.
To be honest, that was a classic.
And then this weekend in the 3A game, Harding Academy, they won 47-25 over Prescott. The 4A game last night, Robinson knocked off Shiloh Christian 42-14. And then here in the nightcap of this weekend, right now McCrory's on their way to a 2A state championship. Here's a pass that goes into the hands of Hammonds, and so that'll be a pickup of about 9 yards on the play out to the 34-yard line.
Been an eventful couple weeks, that's for sure. We have 3 state champions are going to be moving up. Harding Academy, Shiloh Christian. Robinson's even moving up. Shiloh is the runner-up, of course.
Here's a run by Merritt. He gets the first down and more. He's off to the races across the 50-yard line, out past the 40, and he was taken down into McCory territory back at the 36-yard line.
We'll find out Tuesday what the new conference is, new alignment looks like. Most teams, 5A is going to have a really new look to it as Parkview's dropping down from 6A to 5A. The two finalists from 4A, as I mentioned, Robinson and Shiloh moving up. It's going to certainly have a new feel to it.
Here's a run by Merritt. He'll get to the edge. Out past the 30, and he's taken down at the 29-yard line.
Oh, we have the alignment every 2 years, so it's not new that that's happening, but just the number of teams going to be shuffling around because of the new private school rule.
Yeah.
Based on your competition level, you could be potentially moving up or moving down. That's what's going to happen with Shiloh Christian, Harding Academy, Pulaski Academy. They're all moving up a classification. So that's actually going to force Jonesboro into the state's largest classification for the first time in quite a while. Little Rock Catholics moving down to 6A.
By the way, the AAA Board of Directors, they're meeting on Tuesday.
Right, to finalize all that.
We may know Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, who's going where for classifications for this upcoming year. And there's a lot of people anticipating that news on where everybody's going and what it's going to look like this time next year.
Yeah, and they have to finalize that so quickly because teams are going to start making their non-conference schedule if they haven't already.
Yeah.
And for those leagues that may have more, that this is the first year that you don't have to, or you could potentially have more than 8. It's not a mandatory 8 teams per conference. And so that's going to affect the number of teams that you schedule for your non-conference. I think the 6A is going to be the wildest classification. There's going to be 19 teams in Class 6A. So one of the leagues is going to have 10 teams, which means you only get one non-conference game.
Yeah.
And so if you're, we'll just randomly pick a team out of the hat. Say if you're Pulaski Academy and you're playing in a 10-team league, they're only getting one non-conference, and you got to jump right into league play.
So it's 2nd down and 3. Trey Merritt in the shotgun. He brings Sledge in motion from left to right. Merritt looking to throw right side, and it's knocked out of bounds. Bring up 3rd down.
A nice job to get over there in coverage for McCrory. Carson Campbell. Play defense as well as quarterback. That ball hung up a little too long for Merritt. I love the defense to react, get over, and deflect that one away.
So we're down to 50 seconds to play in this one.
Coach Kennan, put your head on a swivel. It's ice bucket time.
Boy, can you imagine how cold that bucket is right about now?
They've got it. Bucket's at the 40.
I saw Scola last night. He got the ice bucket, and I know that it's not. He probably doesn't feel it. The rush is probably, you probably don't feel it until you get to the locker room. Here's Merritt going deep. Has a man, and it's in and out of the hands of his wide receiver, Taylor Poole.
Had a few steps on the defender there, but that ball underthrown, and Poole had to try to come back for it, and the defender running right in front of him might have blocked his view at the football just for a fraction of a second. He could not reel it in.
So now it's 4th down and 3. Down to 10 seconds on the play clock.
And Coach Kennan just got it.
Merritt under pressure, throws it up, and it's intercepted down at the 11-yard line. That time coming up with the interception is Colby Baskins, the senior who's able to seal this thing away with 36 seconds left. And as you said, Coach Kennan got the ice bath over on that far side, and the McCrory Jaguars are on to win the 2021 state championship.
Yep, he's feeling a little cold, but what'll warm him up is watching his team take one kneel down here and take home their 2nd state championship in the last 6 years.
The folks at Arkansas PBS did the piece on Campbell and Kennan and their relationship, and really did a good job of highlighting how this entire group has been together, since they were young kids, and they're seniors now, and it really culminates to a state championship, and kind of goes back to when groups stay together and practice together and work together, what it all comes down to. And it doesn't always happen, but it's pretty neat when it does.
Yeah, it really is, and a dominating performance for McCory as they easily win it 34-7. And how about a shout out to all those guys battling the elements.
Yeah. Those cameramen and camera women and everybody in the truck, boy, they have done a great job. Hey, look, I tell you what, that guy right there that's on the top of the roof, he's been cold. He has been a war. He may get the MVP for Arkansas PBS. Yeah, exactly, because it has been a cold, cold time up there on top of the roof and down there in the end zones. Want to thank everybody that has helped put these state championships on the last couple weekends. And we're out of time, where McCrory, they are your 2021 state champions as they win it 34-7 over Fordyce. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we will, before we do that, Kyle Sutherland is down on the field with Coach Kennan. Take it away, Kyle.
Coach, these guys have been together since the sandbox days, and this is the second one in school history, and your alma mater. Just talk about your feelings right now, also doing it with your son.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm so happy for these kids. I've watched them since they were in 4th grade, played Pee Wee football together. What a blessing the Lord's blessed us with to get to do this, and get to do it with my kid is just extra special.
All right, Coach, thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kyle. As McCrory, they win it by a score of 34-7 over Fordyce. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the MVP, give you some final stats, and recap the entire 2 weekends as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
During the past year, we've been traversing the natural state with our cinematic drone. From lakes and rivers, waterfalls, scenic byways, mountains, swamps, overlooks, and towering rock formations. This unique documentation of all 4 seasons from all 4 corners of the state with an aerial cinematic perspective will give you, the viewer, an Arkansas adventure like never before.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider. From aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees. Served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
There are your 2021 2A state champions. As the McCrory Jaguars, they were able to pull off the state championship win for the first time since 2015. And boy, what a dominating performance for McCrory today, Bobby.
Yeah, to beat that team, the defending state champion, and talking about Fordyce. And, they'd won so many close games. It almost seemed like maybe they're a team of destiny, but they just ran into a buzzsaw today as McCrory made play after play when it mattered most. And that's why they're about to take home the hardware they came for. That one, the 2A state championship.
Tell you, I love small town football, man, because everybody in the community is here. They're supportive. And if they couldn't make it, they were watching right here on Arkansas PBS. And it's just, we've gotten texts throughout the ball game from both people in both these towns that they live, eat, and breathe high school football in these towns. And It's good to see McCory over there celebrating with all their fans. Nobody's left the stadium, that's for